Hi, this is Jolay. It's so good to see you, and I'm glad to be back. I took a hiatus um, because as I started to get into, really the social media platforms and I started sharing, it was as if the worms and the maggots had come to the surface, I guess because it was matching my worms and maggots. So I was like, I have enough of my own. I don't really want to deal with anyone else's. So it was just really eye-opening as far as what was going on within me. And a lot of people were like, you should share about it and get online and talk about it and keep moving. I just couldn't do it. I suffer from the procrastination, a little bit of the apathy at times. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today while I put on my makeup, is how to heal that. I have done all the traditional therapies, theta, working with my chakras, talking to a professional, reading books, The Artist Way, making plans, buying calendars, putting them in my Apple calendar notifications. And it seems as if my life challenge has been one of productivity and being able to really follow through and complete tasks. I guess that's a beautiful thing, a lesson to learn, because deep inside of me, my desire is to be great, not just average or mediocre. But that takes a lot, it takes work, and it also takes discipline. And I have that in different areas of my life, but it seems as if it's not long lasting. It's like I'm a great starter, but the finishing is an issue. And also, it's as if there are blocks along the way that are difficult for me to overcome. And the procrastination of just having pushback and then me making it mean something personal to where it shuts me down. So today, I was like, what else is possible for me? How do I rise to this challenge? Of course, it takes action, but that's the issue. It's never, once I get started, I can get into it, but it's the getting started. There's so much apathy. And just, is it a sense of care and concern? So I was thinking to myself, well, maybe the next step is plant medicine. Maybe people say they get wide open with ayahuasca. And so maybe it would be wise for me to step into maybe something of the plant variety. But I'm going to reach for my makeup now. But I can remember when I was at university, I did acid, LSD, with some friends. And I didn't even have a whole tab I'm using right now. This is Photo Finish by Smashbox. It's going to just kind of blur my pores. And I didn't even have a full tab. Your girl here had maybe a third of a tab. I've already put on my, actually you're supposed to press it in, my moisturizer, my serums, my eye creams. So, I think it was like a quarter of a tab. I don't even think I did a full tab of acid LSD at the time. And it was just such a horrific trip. When my guide left and had to go to work, I was with these other people and they were veterans and I'm this newbie at this. He was showing me the Grateful Dead album cover and he was showing me the Beatles, the stuff you should be looking at when you're tripping. But then I went with my friends and they were like, imagine you're in Vietnam and you're walking through the grass. And I'm like, what the? Vietnam is a war. This is not something that, you should be thinking about on an LSD trip. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was very difficult. So I started to go downhill very fast. It was one of the worst trips of my life. And I swore off. Like after that, it was like I wasn't drinking. I was not doing anything negative. After, like any type of substances, I was done because I had such a bad trip. So to think about something like ayahuasca and to do that and to know that I would vomit and I would purge and I would, woo, you know what I mean? I really like to be in control, and maybe that's my issue. Maybe that's what it is that can be challenging, is to think that you're in control. So then the next step I'm going to do here is I'm going to take my beauty blender. Excuse me for being out of screen, but I'm going to take my beauty blender and I'm going to use what's this Too Faced, and it's like a translucent powder, and it's in deep. And then I'm just gonna, since I have oily skin, especially since I have to sometimes pack on makeup in certain areas of my skin, or I choose to, I don't have to. Sometimes I just want to kind of bring down the oil, and I bring in this here. So back to my riveting story about LSD and my university. So I said to myself, we're not going to be doing any more of that. And then I went through a period of time where I met people who liked the good stuff, the cannabis. And that also can really bring you down if you're not careful. All this stuff benefits by being used in a way that is opening you up to expand you and to allow for you to release what no longer serves you and to bring in more of a connection with the divine. Now, we should be able to do that without substances. But if we look to substances, it should be for a very specific reason. So I'm looking into ayahuasca because I want to get out of my own way. And I've tried so hard to do so many things to move forward, but it's like an anvil. It's like something inside me that's like cement shoes. And even though I'm a healer and I work with healers, this has been something that I've struggled with. So I'm just thinking that maybe plant medicine would be the way to go. Ayahuasca. Looking through the lens of the universe, totally being able to let go of all of this physical body, to be able to become more resilient and to move past this inner unworthiness, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's what it is. It's unworthiness. We feel unworthy. So I'm going to wrap this up soon, but I just wanted to make this video just because, no reason. Maybe for me to admit that it's challenging. It's difficult to be a high functioning individual and be so intelligent and have such a connection with the divine. And then right as it comes to manifesting that or putting that out in the world, it's like a screeching halt. And then you also benefit by being very fortified and balanced as to who you are and what you know. I'm going to reach out and get some more makeup here just a second. And who you are and what you know, that it becomes a burden. I'm so heavy because I'm failing to share what it is that I've been tapped to do. And I'm going to come clean. It's not about crying anymore. There's no victim consciousness here. I'm going to use these two colors right here in my mascara. This is my thing. I love it. It's so awesome. I use other makeup, but for if you're my complexion or any darker, this Bella bronzer mixed in with this glow highlighter really gives something underneath that glows through. And also it gives me like a light coverage of makeup here. Very light. It's like, daytime. I have an issue with that sometimes because with vitiligo, I had this issue. I wanted to just cover it. I don't want you to look at me. Don't look at me. Don't see me, because I felt like every time somebody looks at me, they see my vitiligo. And that's a conversation for another day. We're getting into 9 minutes here. So as you can see, that gave me a really, really nice and light coverage, and it evened out my skin tone. Now, I usually have bags of steel under here, but lately, because we've been quarantined and, I've been able to relax. And, that's another thing that I'm grateful to the mother and the universe and the cosmos for, is that slowing everybody and everyone down. It has helped somebody like me because everyone moves so fast and I get so overwhelmed at times because I'm not moving at the same pace as everyone else, which is where I used to be, which is the well-worn path. I've decided to do something different. And that's why it's so important for me to move. Not just for me, but I'm a light being, a worker of light, and I want to wake up and inspire and motivate other people and help them get out of their own way so that they can reach their goals and they can heal and they can be turned on and they can turn on others, so that we can kind of change this negative energy and this materialism and this stuck on the illusion, and I'm there too, I do things that, man, that people tell you as a healer that you shouldn't do, or people expect from me, even dressing. I'm leggings. I love CrossFit. I love spin. I'm leggings, you sweatshirts, tank tops, all that stuff. And people are like, you're not a healer. You should be Heidi from the Mountain meet Stevie Nicks. That's not who I am. But that does not negate the fact that I am very powerful within me as to what I can do and how I can heal. You call me up, we'll get to the heart of the matter. But when it comes to me and really being able to move in that way, that's where I'm challenged at. In other aspects of my life, 2 thumbs up. But with really working on the behalf of the spirit moving through me, there's so much fear. And so I just make this video just to kind of let everyone know that you're not alone. This is a benefit pencil. It's pretty dope, I must say. I'm gonna brush right here because you can see this, the makeup. So I'm gonna just take this brush, I love it, and do that. And then I'm gonna get my trusty makeup mirror because it's kind of time to get down to business. We're going into 11 minutes, 12 minutes now, so we can see. Now the vitiligo is not totally covered, but that's pretty much all I wanted to do. I want to put on my eyebrow. That's the next step. And then the rest of this, the next time I make a video, I have this stuff here. It's actually color corrector, and it's by Urban Decay. Or yeah, it is. It's Stay Naked, and it says Pro Customizer. This is the stuff of the gods, I'm telling you, for color correction, getting here around your mouth and in any dark spots and areas. This is fantastic. And then what you want to do is you would just dampen your beauty blender and you would just sort of like move it out. But we'll see that in the next video. But this stuff, I'm telling you, when I talked about the illuminator mixed in with the Bella bronzer, which is an incredible combination to even out the tone, that gives you an illumination. But then this, because sometimes makeup has a tendency to be flat, or I don't know how to describe it, but it's just not quite the color. Even with contouring and highlighting and all that, this will give you that natural kind of like black girl glow, reddishness a little bit up underneath to sort of soothe that pasty, if you ever have that look. It's amazing. So we're going to go into the eyebrow. It's so important. So excuse me for being out of camera. What I've learned is that there's a difference between daytime and nighttime, and I sometimes don't. I didn't get the memo. So my eyebrows have a tendency to be dark, which isn't really what we want to do, especially since it's daytime. We want to keep it. And so you want to start around the arch right here, and you want to hold your pencil out, and I just kind of come in and I tighten it up, because I have gray hair, so I go in both directions. But I use the most of my products at the arch area here, and then I soothe it on out, okay? And then as you can see, I've gotten my eyebrows, they've been, I don't know what you call it, soft inked, because I didn't have enough to be microblading them, unfortunately. So I went into the soft ink variety, which I love. The only thing that I kind of, as you can see, I tap off the excess. The only thing I don't like is that it's sorry guys. It's in an area sometimes where I do not have the hair. So it's like I'm thinking maybe a pomade would be better so that I can move some of those hairs up into the area where it's just straight ink. And it's like, it looks like, if you don't have hair, that looks kind of weird. So that's the only thing that to me is, but I love it in terms of what it looked like before. It's drastic difference. And I'm so grateful. So this is more of a daytime look. I put on my mascara, but we'll revisit this. I'm very, very wary of doing ayahuasca, very. But if it's something that will help me get out of my own way and allow for the Spirit to work through me to enlighten others, then maybe that's something I should think about doing, because this lack of productivity is not who I am at my core. I truly love myself and I want to be of service. And also, I love attention. Let's just be real. I'm on video. I have video. So let's not deny that. So I want to be seen and heard and liked. And in order to do that, you got to get moving, Jolie. So I thank you guys so much for joining me and listening to my musings. So if you have any comments or questions or anything like that, or you want to say anything like, don't do it, do it, tell me your experiences. I'd love to hear about it. Take care and you have a great day.